Okay, so this is the cardiovascular effects of mercury exposure. I will be exploring the hidden risks of organic mercury. Uh, Introduction. Mercury is a heavy metal that is known to be toxic to humans. Methyl mercury or organic mercury is the most harmful form of this metal. It is toxic to multiple body systems, including the nervous systems, the renal systems, and also the cardiovascular system. Some common exposure sources are seafood consumption, occupational in dentistry and also in mining, and also in the environment by fossil fuel combustion. Okay. My objective is to explore the relationship between mercury toxicity and cardiovascular diseases. My focus areas are hypertension, dyslipidemia, oxidative stress, and the disruption of cardiac electrical signaling. Analysis overview. Systematic review and meta-analysis of 29 studies, over 55,000 participants from 17 different countries. The biomarkers from this study were hair, blood, urine, and also toenails. And the key findings from this study were that hair mercury levels greater than 2 micrograms increased the odds for hypertension by 59% in the participants. The results show that mercury toxicity is dose dependent. Okay, the limitations of this meta-analysis. Confounding variables were not properly addressed in this study. Some of these variables were smoking, physical activity habits, their diet, and also any other pre-existing health conditions. Selenium as a protective factor. This is a trace mineral that is vital for human functioning. Additionally, it has also been shown to reduce mercury's harmful effects. Some of the common sources of selenium to humans are from nuts, some seafood, eggs, and some grains as well. A study of 2,169 participants with high selenium blood levels showed a lower risk of stroke and also hypertension from mercury toxicity. Meaning, if you have high selenium blood levels, you are at a lower risk of stroke and hypertension, even if you have a higher mercury level concentration in your blood. Selenium studies strengths and weaknesses. Some of the strengths include that it was a focused study on indigenous Arctic communities, which is a very specific group of people that heavily rely on seafood consumption as their main source of protein. And it also was supported by the biomarker analysis. And of course, the weaknesses are that it relied heavily on self-reported evidence and does not account for any other lifestyle factors. Metal mixture exposure, a South Korea study. Over 16,000 adults were categorized by their mercury level exposures. The results show that high levels of mercury in men showed a higher risk for dyslipidemia. Dyslipidemia is an abnormal lipid level which can lead to stroke and also other cardiovascular diseases. The study also showed that the combined metal exposure of mercury, lead, cadmium, and manganese had also all had a positive link to cardiovascular diseases. Strengths and weaknesses. Um, Strengths from this previous study were that it involved a large and diverse population sample, and it had concrete evidence that was calling for public health action. And some of the limitations were that they do not cover the source of exposure to mercury. So they were not talking about how these people were exposed to mercury. Okay, biological mechanisms of mercury toxicity. Methyl mercury disrupts essential biological molecules. Glutathione is an antioxidant that works in detoxifying methyl mercury. Uh, this molecule is a tripeptide that is found relatively high in concentration in many bodily tissues. And like I said, it plays a significant role in reducing oxidative stress. And the results of the results of the disruption of this molecule lead to higher oxidative stress, inflammation, and heart cell damage. The impact of oxidative stress. Long-term oxidative stress destroys the heart tissue, and this is linked to coronary artery disease, hypertension, and also Alzheimer's. Mercury and heart rhythms. Methylmercury disrupts potassium and calcium ion channels. The causes, it delays repolarization of the heartbeat, which leads to a condition known as long QT syndrome. And it also causes an increased risk of arrhythmia and sudden cardiac death. And these findings were confirmed in rats and also in humans. Okay, my conclusion. Methylmercury is the most toxic form of mercury to humans. Humans are exposed to methylmercury by their diet, occupation, and in the environment. Mercury exposure increases the risk for hypertension, atherosclerosis, oxidative stress, and arrhythmia. And these are my references.